Hi, happy Groundhog Day. It's February the 2nd, 2020. This is Melissa, your free range psychic. Today I am going to do a reading on so what now? What's going on now and what's looking a little bit ahead into the future. Oh my God. What an absolute disaster for the Republicans, I think, that Senate trial was. I didn't expect Trump to be acquitted, and I don't think Nancy Pelosi or Schumer or any of those people thought that he would be acquitted, but they were hoping to get witnesses. And I know in my last reading, I think I was confused. I think my guides were showing me something a little bit more complex regarding that, and I just couldn't figure it out. But it's come up again in this reading. When I get to that point, you'll know. I think personally, I think it was very bad for the Republicans what happened, and even though the narrative, obviously, the Trumpers are trying to create is that it was a victory, Trump did not get his Friday night acquittal. So this could be all over by the State of the Union. In fact, it's going to go on through until Wednesday, we think right now, if not more or later than that. And that is a huge defeat for Trump. So behind the scenes, he's not happy about this. It wasn't going the way he thought. And I'm not sure what weakened McConnell on that. I don't know what that was, but that's a big loss right there, that acquittal didn't happen on Friday, so we could just all put it behind us. It's not behind us yet, right? Just want to remind everybody about that. What's really, going on as opposed to what the spin is right now, or what they're trying to make the spin into. This is the subject card my guides gave me. This is a death card. This is the death of the GOP. This is the death of the democratic process. That's what we watched happen in the Senate. Above the Three of Pentacles, that's always, for me, the spin card. I suppose the Two of Pentacles could be that too, but this is, and it involves usually three energies or more involved in the spin, which I would assume would be McConnell, Trump, and probably Putin somewhere in there, and the Koch brothers, actually, who played a huge influence on what happened in this sham of what Nancy Pelosi says can't even be called a trial because there are no witnesses. In the near past, this is the card of the GOP right now. This is the GOP being owned lock, stock, and barrel on the back of the Trump. Also, I want to say this is dark money. I heard a senator, I think from Maryland, say, a Democratic senator who's being interviewed on MSNBC, say that the threat that caused all these senators, except for, and you can see these two deers, I think they represent Collins and Romney, who voted for witnesses for political purposes ostensibly, that their money would be withdrawn, that the dark money, the CPAC money would be withdrawn immediately if any of them had voted for witnesses, and then long term also, that was a big threat. And the Koch brothers are huge donators into the CPAC. I think that probably, I would imagine the Russians are too, and whomever. I mean, this is dark money, right? We can't trace where it comes from, but I think I think this was a Koch bought a trial. So why are the Koch brothers, who probably really, or the brother, because the other brothers passed, the Koch corporation, so into this administration, is because they're pulling back every single environmental regulation and health safety regulation, and the whole tax cut for them. This is why they put him in there. They're libertarians. The mindset, they don't want any interference into their profit margins or their ability to do whatever they want, and not have to follow any codes. No cost cutting, to save the environment, or to save the drinking water, or to make sure that their employees don't, get black lung or asbestos poisoning. Did you notice, over the last year or so that asbestos is now okay to use again in industrial products? So, this could be McConnell also bringing it all in, using his iron fist to make sure not one GOP senator, except for the two that needed to shore up their electoral base in their respective states. That senator from Maryland, I think he was from Maryland, he said it was a hall pass. He knew that McConnell was going to let them have a hall pass, get away with not supporting the status quo, and that was okay with him as long as everybody else fell in line. And he also was saying that that they didn't want Justice Roberts to be called in to make a decision one way or the other. They didn't want to even bring that in to play. And that is also why that they didn't allow 3 no's, even though they probably knew that Roberts was going to not make a vote. And in my last reading, Justice and the Ace of Wands did come up, and I realized after the fact, a lot of times obviously hindsight is 20/20, right? You go, oh yeah, of course, that's what it all meant. That's what my guides were trying to say. That he wanted to be nonpartisan, but not actually nonpartisan to the point where we would have appreciated if he was somewhat, at least not partisan, but someone who would be more or show more intervention regarding helping witness, the Democrats get the witnesses. But he denied the reading of the name of the whistleblower, so he did intervene in that instance. Below, this is the devil. Surprise, surprise. This is Trump. And I would believe Putin, the Koch brothers. This is dark money. This is the GOP doing the will of the Koch, of course. Not the Kochs, doing the will of Trump. Did I say that right? This is McConnell doing the will of Trump and the people behind Trump, working in tandem with the White House all along. He said it right. McConnell said it right from the beginning. This was the driving force. He couldn't deliver 100% in the end, right? But he tried his hardest. McConnell tried his hardest to do the will of the White House, which was to shut the trial down. He got some of it, but not all of it. In the near future. So here she comes again, Nancy Pelosi, Queen of Swords, sorry. The Queen of Swords, yes. This is very quickly Nancy Pelosi in the House coming in, and I asked for a clarifying card, getting to work. The 8 of Pentacles, getting down to business. I believe that's new investigations and witnesses, and they're not going to waste any time. This is going to happen. So the witnesses are coming, and that's what that meant, I believe, when I got the Page of Swords and the Queen of Swords coming up in the near future. This is Nancy Pelosi going, okay, we're calling the witnesses now. We're getting down to it. Whatever this. We knew the Senate would be open to that. We knew this was a done deal, but Nancy Pelosi, being brilliant, she knew that this was going to show the American people that surely the GOP was dead. and that the Senate democracy was dead. Now we know this. It's very clear, right? Because we saw it in front of our eyes. That is a masterstroke. There's no guessing in that. 75% of the American public, when polled, wanted witnesses. They saw the truth. So she's victorious in that. And I asked for a clarifying card. I did get the Page of Swords. So expect this to start very quickly. These investigations, maybe another impeachment investigation. There's so much. There's so much to investigate. And Parnas came out with new information regarding I think Lindsey Graham being involved in the loop, and recently Rachel Maddow released a video, like a half-an-hour video. It was Igor Fruman taking that video. I think nobody knew he was taking it. I guess it's Igor the spy. You can see that it was just turned on very surreptitiously, and it was this some meeting that everybody was having, probably fundraising meeting or a strategy meeting or something. Well, probably fundraising, because I think Parnas was a donator, and there are all kinds of donators around. And in that, it shows Parnas taking a selfie with Trump, and obviously, yes, of course, Trump knows who Parnas is. Trump doubles down and says, I never met the guy. Yeah, I might have taken pictures with a lot of people, but this was a very particular type of meeting. Only certain people were allowed into this meeting. So you can find that on Rachel's feed on YouTube. It's a half-an-hour video. I posted it somewhere. Somebody said it was like, I think, minute 35 when that all happens. Trump walks in, and there's that interaction. But when Parnas was interviewed on Rachel Maddow's show, Ari Melber was stepping in for her last week at the end of the week, and Parnas said there's a treasure trove of videos and pictures and conversations recorded. This is just the tip of the iceberg, so it's going to be very interesting. The clarifying card for this whole impeachment trial, the Tower. This was a disaster. This is the destruction of democracy in action. This is us falling out of the tower, the American people. This is a hit on democracy. It was a sham. And I asked for a clarifying card. 9 of Wands. This is the subordination of the American people to the iron will of Trump, to this authoritarian move to shut down impeachment, even though there were GOP senators outright saying, well, yeah, the Democrats did a really good job. The House managers proved their case, but we don't really care. We're not we don't need to see any more witnesses because we're okay with it. We're okay because we think that, it's for the good of the people. Trump is doing such a wonderful job, for the Koch brothers and for Putin and everybody else who's on board, making a huge amount of profit on his policies. We're good with it. We're good with it. We keep on giving us those donations. We need the money. We want to keep our jobs. So the outcome card, the Ace of Wands. This is new energy coming in. And again, the clarifying card, Page of Swords. So just when this all seems over and Trump is gloating and, the GOP pundits are gloating, whoosh, we're watching more and more scandals and more information about the nefarious dealings of this government come out, and it will hurt them. It will hurt them in the elections because it's, as I said, it's the tip of the iceberg. It's just going to blow people's minds. And interestingly enough, my guides did tell me that the impeachment was going to run into February. I think that was in the reading on 2020 for the month of February. It was the Eight of Wands, I think. Yeah, the card that we got for this month. And as I was watching the impeachment trial happening, and I thought, oh well, I wonder does that mean new impeachment charges, which it may. Because I thought, well, they're going to, shut this thing down on Friday. Well, here we are in February, and the impeachment is not over. The trial may nearly be over, but it did go into February. So I thought, okay, that was a clear piece of information. I have a oracle card for us, and this card is so important. I think my guides gave me this card. Oh, I didn't explain at the beginning that when I do these readings, I explain this on every video because I don't know who new is watching. I get my cards psychically. My guides give me these cards. I don't shuffle the deck. And then I ask my guides, well, why did you pick these cards? And then I do my best to tell you what I heard. And I also ask them each reading for an oracle card to help us. And this card is from the Messenger Oracle deck, Rayvynne Phelan. And this card is focus and then act. So what's coming up? The elections are coming up. This is the time when we need to double down on our vision for what we want. I'm going to read what this book says in a minute, but somebody that a friend of mine, somebody I was chatting with, was saying, we can't be letting our fear run us. Oh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Is Trump going to win? We need to envision, to have it in our mind, 110% what we want to happen. And then we need to put our energy into that. We cannot let our fear undermine us. We need to focus and then act. So this is so important. She said that, the dark forces, they are very clear about what they want, and they have no doubt. They're just going, for it. Trump 4 more years, and all the other policies that all the policies that he is going to endorse, it's going to help them and harm humanity and the environment. But we need to use our focus to combat that on every level, including spiritually. So I will find this card. I had it actually marked out, but then I let the book close. Give me 1 second. So it's coming up. B, C, D, E, F. Okay. There is something you want or need to make manifest, but to make your dreams a reality, you must focus your will upon that desire and do what needs to be done. Prayer alone will not give you that which you desire at this time. There are things that you must do in order to have your hopes realized. Now is not the time for stillness or passivity. Now is the time to focus your will, your thoughts, and emotions, and try to get up and take, it doesn't say try, I put that in there. It just says, and to get up and take the necessary steps. So what does that mean? That means helping to get out the vote. It means educating yourself, being clear about what you want. I know there are a lot of Democratic candidates. What I highly recommend is look up their policies. Don't get into the personality wars that are going on. I was watching, again, MSNBC. Oh, I know, it was the show before Joy this morning. And they were talking about Russian disinformation and how Russia, the way it works is they try to divide us and also distract us by blowing up these little vignettes of things, or making these vignettes of things that happen. So somebody said this against this person, isn't that horrible? And we run backwards and forwards, and we're unsure. We can't fall into that trap of letting Russia do what they did in the last election, and that's using social media and spreading wide disinformation and causing us to get into battles amongst ourselves. So how do we do that? Well, one way is to learn how to recognize disinformation. I personally am going to start to research and try to find out what websites are connected with that campaign of disinformation, because I believe there are organizations that have been keeping tally of them. I'm going to find out what they are, and I'll post them on my community page. I'm trying really hard now to post information that at least I find relevant. So there's some, I get educated and I can help educate other people, and I'm happy if other people give me articles that they think are helpful. So that's one thing. You know, what does it look like? What does it look like when the Russian smear campaign starts, or the disinformation starts? It's not always clear, because sometimes it's backing one candidate. You'll find positive articles about one candidate, and then you'll find negative articles about another candidate, and they're trying to overlay the actuality of what these candidates really represent. So I say the other part of this is look up their policies, please. What do they represent? Where are they in the environment? Where are they on women's rights? Where are they on LGBT rights? Whatever is your focus, where are they in voter registration rights and voter rights in general? Where do these people stand on issues of minorities, minority representation and rights, and where do they stand on the police and on healthcare, and whatever it is that you are interested in. Look up their policies, please, so that you can find a candidate that meshes with what your beliefs are, and support them because of that, not because they're they're the next superhero, or they're this or they're that. That's not relevant to where they're really coming from, to what they really support. And that is what I highly suggest, because otherwise the Russians are really, really good at splitting us up at this time, making it into like a 5 of wands, this fray, this battle, where we lose our gravitational center in terms of finding and consensually agreeing on a candidate that is going to go against Trump. That candidate, as much as, yes, it depends on the it factor they have, it also depends on us stepping up and going, okay, that person's the Democratic candidate, I'm going to vote for them, I'm working for them, because they're now chosen and they're going up against Trump, and I do not want Trump to get elected. The Russians are going to use social media to really reinforce the meme that I'm not going to vote for anybody else. If I can't have this person, there's nobody else that's going to get in, and there's the Democratic Party is unfair, and they're the bad guys, and whatever. Don't fall into that trap. We cannot afford it. We cannot afford people not voting because their candidate didn't get the nomination. Honestly, please. Even if the candidate that's running doesn't support everything that you believe in, you can continue to be political. You can continue to campaign for and to protest and demonstrate all the good democratic tools for getting policy changed your way. And it can work. We've seen it work. If enough people turn out, things will start turning our way. If we get local politicians in who support what we want, and state politicians and governors. So please, this time around, don't get swayed by social media. Just take an article pops up and you just go, oh God, that's terrible, and investigate where it came from, and not just with Snopes. There's a lot of ways you can investigate. You can look up the actual source. You can investigate that source. Who wrote the article? What does that agency or website or whatever, stand for, what are they? Who funds them? We all need to be sleuths right now. We all need to really be clear-headed and very, 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 very astute about this, because otherwise we're really going to be in for it. I'm not saying that even if that happens, Trump is going to win, but we're a lot stronger if we stay focused and act on rational and clear information. As much truth as possible. We need to find out what the truth is and not be swayed by a campaign of lies and half-truths and misinformation and disinformation that surely is going to hit us. It's already hitting us right now. So I'm glad my guides chose this card. I always say at this part, I want to remind people I am I'm available for psychic readings, anything to do with the past lives. I can read past lives for you. I can look into the present and issues from the past and the future in this lifetime. See what might be coming, around the pike for you. I'm a medium. Via my guides, we can contact those who've passed if they're available. They're not always available. Sometimes they're kind of caught up in things, or maybe they haven't passed over, they haven't made their transition. So my guides can help pass them over. I've done that for quite a few people, or they have, I should say. And I love to introduce people to their guardian angels. So I'll leave my information, my contact information below. And I have a little title card at the end of the musical interlude that's coming up, another musical interlude that I made for you, so that we can all calm down and rise to our highest vibration as this time continues. Challenging, but it is honing us, I think. It is raising our vibration, because what else is there? Either we go down or we go up. So it's much more enjoyable to have a higher vibration and to float above the fray, find the peace, find the joy, find the beauty. I have a Patreon page that I started. It helps support these videos, and also I am channeling a book on prayer and the angelic realm, and I want to start conversations there, and I would really love people's experiences and thoughts, and not that you have to believe in that or not, but what is your experience or your thoughts on prayer and the angelic realm and divine consciousness? What is the function of prayer, that kind of thing? And after I'm done with this, I'm going to make a Patreon video for that page, but I will probably release that to everybody. It's a little bit different. So saying that, I'm sending my love to you all. And, I do continually through the week post stuff on the community page, so look out for those posts. I love the comments and conversations that come with these videos, and also the posts that I make. So thank you very, very much. Sending a big round of love to everybody who subscribes to this page, including my new subscribers. Thank you very much. Thank you, and take care. Have a beautiful week ahead until next Sunday, when I will come out with another of these videos. You guys, take care. Bye.